Oh god, my closet is showing. We don't want that. We don't want that. It's a mess in there, guys. Don't look. Don't look. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think for... happened again. Hi everybody, I am back. Okay, so I have spent like the last week or so trying to put this room together. If you can look behind me, you can probably tell it's not perfect yet. It's really not. But okay, I just found a bunch more palettes that have been totally neglected, so I'm just gonna make the part 2 of that video now. Okay, hi, I'm Annika. I'm a makeup artist in the state of New Hampshire, and makeup has been an obsession of mine for the last few years especially. I feel like it really started kicking off in 2019, and the reason is because, so when I was 8 months pregnant, it was in November of 2018. That was when I had gone to rehab for the last time. I just truly can't ever see myself going back. Next month will be my 6 years of sobriety. But during the first year of sobriety, I was like not okay at all. I was not okay. I was going through a lot and I was not doing well mentally at all. I was still trying to just like, you know, figure out how can I be a new mom? How can I be in recovery at the same time? How can I prioritize recovery and my child? And then I realized it's because you really have to put recovery above everything. I'm not gonna lie, that first year especially was tough. I was dealing with a lot of awful things and awful people, and it was just really hard. But makeup is literally what got me through. Like, makeup gave me something to focus on getting better at. I started really trying to learn how to do a full beat, how to make my makeup look the most flattering. And I know this is the second video in a row I'm not wearing any, but that's because I've been so busy. I am definitely hoping that I'll get to make an actual makeup video soon. But maybe tomorrow we'll try. This is just part 2 of my neglected palettes. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to one of my beautiful friends. She's a newer makeup friend to me, and her name is Smiley Shani, or Shani. And this woman is truly like one of the most amazing people ever. And I just wanted to say I fucking love you, Shani, and I'm so glad that we randomly met. I think it was on YouTube initially, right? But I don't know if you found me first or if I found you first. I want to say you found me. Another amazing, beautiful, freaking strong-ass woman who I want to give a shout out to is Nikki and then Shani, and they're very good friends, I believe, and I just love them so much. I totally ship the friendship of theirs. But I do want to say to Shani, you know, after I had uploaded my 2-hour video where I discuss like some of the horrors of my life, she reached out to me not even like an hour after I posted that video and was checking on me. She has since like given me her number. We've been texting a little bit, and I'm just like, well, at least I'm trying to. I do live in a town now that has like no cell service, so sometimes I don't get the messages right away, or sometimes I don't know, I'm just, you know, I'm not the best texter anyway. But Shani, I love you so much, and I just want to say thank you so much. If you guys don't follow her, please go check out her YouTube channel. Check out Nikki's channel. These women are amazing, and yeah, Shani is such a great person. She's just so easy to talk to, and now she's my new big sister that I wish I had. So I'm gonna call her that from now on. But yeah, Shani, thank you for everything. Thank you for being such a good friend. I love you, even though I know we don't know each other really that well, but I feel like I know you. You're amazing. You are one of the most beautiful women on this fucking earth, and I hope you know that. But okay, I love you. Thank you for everything. But okay, I'm gonna dive into my part 2 of neglected eyeshadow palettes. I have a bunch that I keep them like out of my vanity so I can easily grab them if I need to. A lot of them are my indie eyeshadow palettes because those are the formulas that I gravitate towards nowadays. However, a lot of my palettes in my collection are older and from before I discovered indie makeup. So I'm going to show you some more. The first one is this. God, it's sticky because, oh my god, I got soft freaking wax on it and I don't have a wax remover yet. Why am I waxing myself with soft wax and not carrying a wax remover? I don't know. I need to buy it. Like, you can probably see up in this corner, there is wax on it. But okay, this is the Revolution Forever Flawless palette. This is probably my most used Revolution palette. Very colorful. We got some warm tones, cool tones, and more neutrals in here. I definitely think this one is not that great. It's not that great. I think I use this like taupey gray sort of shadow the most, but I used to use a lot of these colorful shadows in the past. Nowadays, I don't know. I'm not really into it, but I still think this Periwinkle Lure, I feel like that's a pretty good one. Like, it's not the most pigmented periwinkle, but it's not bad. And then this shadow Rave is pretty good too. One time I had done a look, before I had multi-chromes, but when I was like, I had just found indie makeup, right? And I knew that I wanted to start buying multi-chromes. I tried to do like a shifty looking look with this shade Party, the bright red shimmer, and then this shade Rave, and I tried to do like the red in the center with the blue on the sides to make it look like it was shifty. But yeah, this isn't the best palette. Like, I don't think I've ever used that silver glitter in my life. Maybe I should. Maybe I should try to do more random things I wouldn't normally do. Oh, I just realized that window might be screwing with me. I'm sorry, Opal. I need to close that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Opal. I'm sorry. But yeah. Oh, the Forever Flawless Hype palette. That's what it's called. Definitely not the best formulas. I mean, it's Revolution. What do you expect, you know? Oh my gosh. This is a palette I wanted to share in the last video, but I didn't know where it was yet. So this is by far one of my most used palettes from, like, you know, the beginning of my makeup journey sort of thing. These were my first ever single shadows, and you could probably tell because they're pretty destroyed. These are a bunch of MAC singles. I do still have a couple of my MAC singles that are, they're matte shadows. They're in my neutral single eyeshadow palette along with some other shades, but yeah. I loved this. Like, I first got this when I was pregnant. I had bought this and I started to use it, and back then I thought these were like pretty good shimmers. Nowadays I would not agree with that, but I mean, there were some beautiful shadows in here. A lot of these are hard panned. They're not as good quality as they used to be. Like, I can see this one looks very powdery and like bumpy. I mean, a lot of them look bumpy. I used and abused this palette, that's for sure. While we're on the subject of MAC, I also have, oh yeah, Solar Glow x9 palette. And oh my god, I love this so much. Specifically, this like gray, it was like, okay, so this was like by far my favorite eyeshadow. It doesn't look good now. But like back then I had different standards because I didn't know. But it was like this grayish purple, like almost like silvery gray shimmer. God, it's so pathetic now. And I'll show you what I would use instead to, like, when I tell you I looked everywhere for something that was like a better version of this shadow. I think, oh yeah, this is my neutrals palette. I have MAC Soft Brown over here. Oh no, it looks like it got a little messed up. And then I have like a couple other MAC shadows, but I have Robert from Odin's Eye, and I'm just gonna swatch it next to it. I feel like this is as close of a dupe as I'm gonna get. It's not perfect, but it's way more of what I was looking for. It's like a silvery purple that I just love, like a grayed out purple shimmer. And yeah, I would totally use that over this other palette. But I got this. Okay, this palette has actually been through so much with me. I took it to this rehab. It was not the last time I went to rehab, but it was right when I first found out I was pregnant, I had gone to this rehab called Hope on Haven Hill, okay? Hope on Haven Hill was a fucking joke for many reasons. I was assaulted by 2 separate staff members there. Literally insane. Like, first of all, I was not properly detoxed. I was just thrown in this house with a bunch of women, most of whom were either pregnant or had their children there, okay? Because it was supposed to be for, like, pregnant moms. And moms who with, like, young children who are in recovery. Except they just stuck me in there. I literally didn't have any medication. Thank God I had brought a few Subutex tablets with me. I had hidden them in my bag. But I was dope sick when I went in there. And as soon as I went in there, I remember I passed out on the couch. I felt horrible too because I didn't know I wasn't going to be properly detoxed, right? I did not last long there. One of my ex's moms, she was in the rehab with me, and I guess I left this palette there, okay? I left it. So I did not stay at that rehab. I thought it was a joke. Like, I was laying in this bed the next morning, and I still had not been able to go to a fucking doctor and get on some sort of medication, which is, like, what I needed. I needed to be on Subutex or Suboxone or something. And they were making me wait, like, a few days while I'm pregnant, and my child could have fucking died from the withdrawals. Like, they literally... There was this woman... And she, okay, I'm not trying to, like, sound insensitive or anything. I hope I'm not. But she was a little person, okay? I don't know if that makes a difference in the story. But it just makes it weirder. Because this little woman came up, and she was a staff member, and she grabbed me by the ankles and tried to drag me out of bed. And it was one of the most weirdest freaking experiences of my life. So I got up and I was like, okay. Because I wasn't allowed to sleep. Because I was feeling like shit. And I'm like, okay, but you guys want me to go be around these other women who are already clean? Like, I felt so out of place there. Not that those other women didn't understand, but it didn't feel fair to them. Especially now, as someone who is very solid in recovery, I don't like being around people who are very obviously high or nodding off or dope sick, you know, like that. I just felt like it was so unfair, and I didn't understand why they didn't have a proper detox program or why I wasn't detoxed properly before going there. But yeah, they also had this like no call policy for like 2 weeks, and I did not last long because they were also trying to get my husband and I, he wasn't my husband yet, but they were trying to keep him from me. And I was like, bro, I talked to some of the women there, and it turned out some of those women were not allowed to talk to their baby daddies. They would pretend to send the letters out and then wouldn't actually send them. Like, it's just horrible. So I don't recommend that place. I think Cynthia Day is a rehab similar to Hope on Haven Hill in New Hampshire. If you are pregnant, I would honestly not recommend going there either unless you really are court ordered to or something. I would just say go to Farnham and make it fucking work like I did, because Farnham will take you no matter how pregnant you are, and they will help you. Anyways, enough about that. I love this palette. Like, I used these 3 shimmers so much. I started using matte, and I would use this dark brown for my eyebrows. I loved this so much. And oh yeah, so actually right, I lost this palette. That was the whole reason I was telling those stories. I lost that palette, okay? And then I left the rehab. I didn't even notice I lost it, by the way. I ended up running into my ex's mom later on at Farnham Center in Manchester, and she had the palette, and she was like, wait, is this yours? Because I found it. And I was like, girl, like, thank you. Like, who loses a MAC palette and actually gets it returned? I guess I did, and I felt so lucky. I mean, I've always loved that woman. Shout out to her if she ever sees this, which I doubt, but amazing person, and I hope she's doing well. I hope she and her baby are well. I mean, her kid's like my daughter's age, so I always will remember, you know, being scared and terrified in that rehab and having her there. It was like such a relief. Okay, so I have, and this is a brand that has been called out for, oh, it's gross. This is Juvia's Place, and honestly, I had never tried them, and I had never bought from them either. I have this little mint palette. What's it called? these are the Rebel minis. I think I had the olive green somewhere too, but I want to say that one ended up with my stepdaughter. So I have this silver one, or the gray one. I think I've probably used this one once, but I have used this light mint shade before and some of those shimmers. I'm just not someone who buys from Juvia's Place. I think they have some really beautiful looking products, and I think their packaging is always beautiful. I love the artwork they do. But it was weird because Juvia's Place had like reposted a video. It wasn't their own video, but it was from an influencer who was doing makeup and then said some insensitive stuff about Asian people, and then the brand had like reposted it to the page. Yeah, if you've heard of it, you probably have, honestly, if you're in this community. But I don't know, just that whole thing makes me feel icky and I don't like it, so all set with that. I guess I'll include my ABH Soft Glam palette real quick. Did I include it in the last video? I don't know. This palette, I have had to like seriously spray this down with alcohol again and again because someone has literally coughed into it while I was doing their makeup. So this palette is basically reserved for that one person. They're one of my family members, so I mean, I was like, okay, sometimes I'll use it like very occasionally. When I had done my little maroon eyeliner thing inspired by my friend Daria, A Variety of Distractions, I had used mulberry for the wing. And yeah, I love these three mattes: orange soda, burnt orange, and rustic. And then like sienna is beautiful, dusty rose is beautiful. But yeah, I don't know, it's something about the shimmers in this palette. Like the only one I actually like is Sultry, like the darker brown. I feel like when I got this palette, it was so hyped up and I was super excited to get it. And then, I mean, it's not like I don't like the mattes. I really do like the mattes in this palette, but I felt like the shimmers weren't for me. They're like, the bronze is super gold, and then these two are so similar, like glistening and fairy. I just was like, oh, this is like a golden shimmer palette with some browns. And I love the mattes. I definitely think the mattes are better than the shimmers. A little powdery, but whatever. That palette has had to be seriously disinfected, and I only use it like once in a while when I'm feeling a little risky, you know? Alright, so next up I have 3 Huda Beauty 9-pan palettes. I also use my Huda Beauty Wild Jaguar palette more often. It's probably my most used one out of these, but I love the, what is this? The Chameleon. The Chameleon one is super beautiful, but I want to say, oh wait, four palettes, because we also have the Tiger, which this is one I absolutely need to use more often. It is so beautiful. Like, I'm not always one to gravitate towards like, warmer tones, but I think this is a beautifully done color story. I really like this one, and I would recommend it. I think there's some gorgeous shadows in here. And I really like Huda Beauty's matte formulas and her shimmers. I think they're stunning. Oh yeah, and then I have, let's see, Chameleon, which I showed you, and then I have the Python palette. Usually, honestly, like, I use any one of these. Usually it's the Jaguar. I use that for a mirror every day, and so I'll often end up using like a couple of those shades at a time whenever I am just adding something to a look. This is one I definitely need to use more. It's definitely more like, it's the light palette, the nude light. I've used this a lot in my days. I think the tones in here are so beautiful. Like, let me try to get up close. Beautiful purples and pinks. There's actually like a pinky gold duochrome in here. I mean, it's not like the best duochrome, you know, but it's very pretty. I like this one a lot. I've honestly almost panned that middle center shade. I think for like mainstream shimmers and mattes, Huda Beauty does it like the best. And I've since started playing around with like Natasha Denona. I think same with Natasha Denona. But yeah, I really like Huda Beauty. The only thing is I feel like a lot of her mattes, sometimes they will look one way in the pan, but when you actually use them, they might be more warm toned or maybe more dark, or like they don't always look exactly the same as they do in the pan. And I'm pretty neutral, so I don't normally have that issue. But I know a lot of people have said it about Huda Beauty. I still don't care. I feel like they're beautiful regardless. But maybe if you have like maybe a really olive skin tone or a very pink cool tone skin tone, you might not feel the same way. You might have more issues when it comes to the undertones not exactly matching your expectations. But yeah, I really like those. I like the 9 pans, and I think if you ever see one that you really want to get, I think you won't be disappointed at all. Oh my god. Okay, this is like such an old gem. This is the Urban Decay Party Favor palette. And before I found indie eyeshadows, oh my god, I'm sorry about the ring light glare. This palette was like my shimmery topper palette. Okay, wait, I'm sorry. I don't want the light to do that. But these are very sparkly. If you've ever used like a moon dust shadow from Urban Decay, you probably already know the deal. They're not like perfect, I would say, but okay, those are horrible swatches, but you see what I mean? Like, they're very sparkly and very beautiful. I definitely want to use some of those shadows more often. Wow, I always really liked that palette. I loved layering with it. But yeah, super cute party favor packaging. I haven't tried Space Cowboy, but I used to love Midnight Cowboy and Midnight Cowboy Rides Again. I wish I still had that one. Even though the formula is totally not what I'm into these days, I wish I had it still for like memory's sake, because that was like my shit in high school. I bought it like probably 3 or 4 different times. I loved that one. Like that, I feel like that was like my first ever like actual eyeshadow purchase. Because at the time I had like a Maybelline Bad to the Bronze cream shadow, which my friend Dubs Beauty, DW, she told me it's discontinued, and I'm like, that's so sad, because I don't think I have one anymore, but I loved that formula so much. And that Bad to the Bronze was my first eyeshadow ever. Like, I had that. I had Midnight Cowboy Rise Again and Midnight Cowboy, depending on what day it was, you know. And then I had this, oh my god, they don't make it anymore either, but it was the Stila Kitten cream, like it was like a cream gel liner, but I used it as a cream shadow. I really liked Stila Kitten. I don't know if I would like it these days, probably not as much, but I wish they still had that too, because I would totally buy it literally just for memory's sake. Moving on. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, all the Huda Beauty Wild palettes were won in the Alley Glines giveaway that I had won, along with these. And then the ColourPop minis I'm about to show you, those were also all from Alley Glines, which I appreciate. So these 2 palettes, I actually had gotten 3, but I gave the more green, like orange sort of color story to my stepdaughter. Thought she would look really good in those tones because she has like a very warm skin tone like my husband. Oh yeah, these had come from that too. Okay, so these are the JCat Beauty Chaotic Element palettes. I love the packaging. Like, these are beautiful. This is Traffic Night Bokeh, and this is my favorite of all of the palettes. It's purple and pink, and then there's some beautiful shimmers in here. They're just like regular metallics, and then there's also some more satiny ones. I'll swatch one of each. This is one of the metallics, very sparkly and pretty. And then here's one of these satins. Like, they're just good quality drugstore palettes, and they make me want to do a video, like a drugstore makeup only video, and I would include one of these because they're so good. They're so freaking good. And the mattes are pretty pigmented. I think the satins are beautiful. I love this random orange. At first I was like not sure about it, but I kind of like how it contrasts between all the blues. I think that's really cool. But yeah, like these are really good, and I would recommend them 100 times over. There's no like super special shifty shadows, but the metallics are freaking good. The satins stay put and they don't fade, and I really like them a lot. So yeah, I forgot to say, this is the Chaotic Element Storm Stimulation palette, the more cool toned one. There's that. So I'm gonna start with the one I bought myself. The lettering has rubbed off. This is the Orchid Unite palette from ColourPop, which honestly I need to use ASAP. I really like the tones in here. Honestly, if I use any of the shimmers, I would definitely like put a special sparkly indie shadow over top. But I loved this. This is like kind of like that MAC shadow I showed you, the like gray purple one. This is one of those shimmers. It's not exactly what I want, but like I feel like that was like basically the reason I got it. That is the shade Pretty One. Pretty One? Yeah. I think these are beautiful tones. The mattes in here are absolutely stunning. Like this is perfect for like a burgundy sort of look. Okay, but then all of these I have, and these aren't even all the ones I had won in that giveaway. It was a very generous giveaway that Allie Glines had put on, and I was only one of like the handful of winners, so I was super grateful because there's a lot of stuff that I was able to start building my makeup kit with, which was, it came at such a good time too. Like it honestly made my whole freaking life. But yeah, Allie, thank you so much. So I'll start with the bigger ones and we'll go into the quads. These are the palettes. This is Clearly in Love. Oh my god, wait. One of the shimmers is breaking. Okay, I just broke it more. Clearly in Love. We're gonna have to toss that one probably because it's not like I'll ever use that shadow. Let me just dump it out. Okay, so I like these, and honestly some of the mattes have like sparkles in them, but I don't even care because I don't mind it. I think this was my favorite one. I really liked all the brown mattes in here. Okay, wait, let me try to dump this shit back. It's all over my freaking hands, my pants, whatever. But yeah, this one, it was, yeah, Clearly in Love, one of my favorites of all the 9 pans. And then I have, oops, and I just dropped another palette, bro. Dude, this wasn't even the one I dropped. This one has a broken pink shimmer in here too. Okay, I guess the pink shimmers in these palettes don't like to stay together. That's great. Dude, it's the exact same spot too. It's the exact same spot. This is so sad. Okay, we're just gonna keep it closed and see if we can see. But this one has some beautiful mattes in here too. That's kind of irritating though, because now there's pink shimmer all over the floor. And then this one was not my favorite just because they're more orangey tones, but still very pretty. I believe this is Clear the Air. Yeah, Clear the Air. I mean, I use them not super often, but definitely could use them more often. Though I'm definitely going to need to get rid of those broken eyeshadows. But okay. The quads were actually like more my thing. So this is Sorbet, and I think the colors in here are pretty, just not exactly my cup of tea, but I really liked this one a lot. I have used it many times. And then we have, like, this is one of my go-to palettes for like cool tone, like gray sort of looks. There's a really pretty, like, almost like a grayed out taupey shade along with the more actual grays and blacks, so I like that. But this is my favorite for sure. This is the Cream Soda little quad palette, and the tones in here are absolutely beautiful. I definitely use this one the most. I'm gonna leave this on my vanity so I can continue to use it. It's beautiful. I really like it, and it's perfect. It's very easy to wear. You could just do one of the mattes, you can do both, you can use all 4 shadows, you can just use one of the shimmers if you want, or like, it's just so easy. And then I do have another one somewhere. It's like the chocolate one. I can't remember what, it's a dark brown one, and I honestly don't know where that is right now. ColourPop can be pretty hit or miss, but I think those quads and the 9 pans are really good. I know some people probably aren't a huge fan of like the sequin sort of sparkly mattes that come in those 9 pans, but I don't mind them. I'm already used to having glitter everywhere. Next thing I'm going to show you is my Lime Crime Venus 3 palette. Now, this is something I had gotten in a BoxyCharm a few years ago, and I really like the color story. There's some purples, there's some pretty browns. I especially love Ecstasy up here. Ecstasy is beautiful. And then I really liked this shimmer down here. What is it called? Rapture? Oh wait, no. Heavenly was the shimmer. And then Rapture was almost kind of like a creamy sequin shadow. It looks like there's glitter in there, but I mean, Lime Crime's another problematic brand. I don't believe she's involved anymore. Her name was like Doe Deer. And she dressed up as fucking Hitler for Halloween. I always thought Lime Crime was like a really cool looking brand until I had to find out about that. But I don't know. God, I'll have to see if I can find anything on this. I think she no longer is like the owner of the brand, but she might still be on the board. I don't know. That's just what I've heard, but I don't know, man. It's not bad. Could be worse. These are my NBA Cosmetics duochromes, and I really love these, but I need to use them more, so I'm gonna put them out, and I gotta go. Now this is the final palette. I'm just gonna show you really, really fast. The Moonstone palette from Profusion. Also got it in the Alley Glidens giveaway. I liked it because it had a bunch of different tones in here, but it's just not for me. It's too heavy to carry around in my kit, and it's too big for me to use, so I might depot some of those and then just throw it away. Alright, love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any neglected palettes in your collection. I would love to hear about it. Have a wonderful day. Bye!